Welcome to Apex Legends Season 3, where you can indeed ride a train around a new map. Yes, this is World's Edge. And in this video, I'll be giving you a look at everything that's new in Season 3, the map, Crypto, the new legend, the new gun, the charge rifle, as well as all sorts of balance and meta tweaks coming to the game. And a big thank you to EA for sponsoring this video, flying me out to LA and letting me get hands-on with all of the new content. Now, of course, the biggest draw for Season 3 is the new map World's Edge, and it's awesome. I have to say, it's incredibly fun playing Apex again on a new environment, learning new areas, angles, positions, and everyone is in the mix together. No one knows all of the best spots yet, and people are just in there having fun. So in the center of the map is this big epicenter frozen explosion, and the map is divided into two almost, ice and fire. There are built-up urban areas of the map with multi-story buildings that have many levels inside them, sometimes up to 5. Imagine a circle ending in one of these buildings and you've got an epic raid style moment. There's some luscious alien vegetation around, some absolutely gorgeous parts of the map, tons of new assets here, it's colourful, there's sections of the map with lava, and of course ice on the other side. Now dotted around the map are these geysers, and you can use these as you would the balloons in Kings Canyon. Jump into them and they will rocket you up into the air and you can glide certain distances. However, there are your typical larger balloons too. And one thing you may have noticed already, this map is big. If you were to say that Kings Canyon was 4x4, I would say that this is more like 6x6. And it's a lot flatter than Kings Canyon. You won't find yourself sliding down things as much as you do there. There are zip lines everywhere over the map and plenty of ways to get around. The larger and flatter design of the map leads to some awesome long-range firefights, and weapons like the longbow and the G7 Scout really come into their own here. It's a different style of play to Kings Canyon, but still incredibly fun, and there are hectic close-range areas too, like the rail yard for example, that will give you those classic hectic Apex fights. You may have noticed too that there was no supply ship at the start of the level, and none of them entered the fray during the match either. However, that train that I talked about, that is a hotspot for loot. It has loot on it, it moves around, you can stop it whenever you want, and it will go around the map to different stations where loot will pop up out the ground and you can use that to resupply. In theory, you could spend the entire match on the train if the circle is kind to you. So what's happening to Kings Canyon? Well, that's going away for now. The only option you'll have when you load into matchmaking is to play the new map World's Edge at the moment. Kings Canyon may return at some point, whether it's the same or different or modified, we don't know, but for now this map is all you will be able to play. Before we move on from the map, I thought I'd show you this too. This is a vault, and inside there's a ton of juicy gold and purple loot, guaranteed. How do you get in there? Well, it's a mix of luck and skill. Around the level are these floating balls that change colour from blue, purple and gold. When you destroy the ball depends on what kind of loot it will give you. If you hit gold, it's going to drop gold loot, and there's a chance that it will drop a vault key. If you get a vault key, head to a vault and you can open it. As far as I know, there's no other way to open it at the moment, but if you do, you're guaranteed some sick loot. Now then, next, let's talk about Crypto, the new legend. Crypto is cool because I think he really shakes up the meta. The most important thing is that this guy has a flyable drone. When you deploy the drone, you are vulnerable, so be careful, but you can fly this around within a limited range. Its passive ability is that it will spot enemy targets for you and highlight them for your team to see. It's incredibly useful, and sometimes it can even show you enemies through walls if they've been spotted. When you're spotted by enemy drones, you're also informed too, so you know what's about to go down. You can leave this in a location and have it just passively spot for you, or of course fly around with it yourself, and even do cool stuff like hack doors, open and close them to surprise or open up new lines of sight for your team. This one is a bit of a secret too that I'm sure people will find out, but if you go to a banner and look at it with your drone, it will tell you how many enemy squads are within your drone's range. So that's a really good way of getting quick intel if you're about to be attacked or there's someone nearby. Crypto's ultimate ability is the EMP, and this will deal a total of 50 shield damage, and it's incredibly useful for initiating team fights or getting someone to go away. You can only use this ultimate when your drone is deployed. You start charging it up, it will explode, it's got a massive AoE, and if you hit an enemy with this, like I said, it will do 50 shield damage, and it will apply a slow. An additional feature of this ultimate is that it destroys traps, so if there's a Wattson around and they're really turtling up in that team, use this drone and give them a bad time. It's a great tool for initiation and we used it several times to do that. Here's a look at some of the crypto skins that you can get hold of. I love the one in the suit. Looking very stylish indeed, and there's a couple others here too. I thought I'd show you this. It looks like the devs have added quips to the game too. You can assign several of these to each character and then use them by selecting them from a wheel in game. And get this, any enemies that are close to you will hear those quips. So they're a bit of a taunt if you're feeling confident. Crypto is incredibly fun to play. He's a cool character and he's going to shake the game up for sure. There's going to be some sick plays and traps coming from that drone. The only thing I wish I'd have tested is if you can fly it through a Wraith portal. I'm going to assume that you can, but I don't know for sure. Now then, let's look at the new weapon, the Charge Rifle. This is a world spawn item that's an energy-based weapon, and its attachments are the extended mag, the stock, and the sight, and in this game it's classed as a sniper rifle. If you played Titanfall, you may be familiar with this as an anti-Titan weapon, but it does act a bit differently in Apex. Here, it's a mix between the Quake 3 lightning gun and the railgun. So this is how it works. You shoot and it charges up a shot and then fires. But the caveat is that as it's charging up, that beam will actually do damage if you're on target. It's only a bit of tick damage, but of course, if you can successfully track someone's head or upper torso, that can make quite a difference in a fight. And that final blast is going to deal a lot of punishment. Let me tell you, this gun is great to use. It's incredibly fun and it's an absolute skill cannon. And for those people that have got good, consistent aim, they will dominate with this thing. Close range, I think you'd still be better with an R99 or a 301, but at medium and long ranges, this will dominate, trust me. You're going to see some amazing plays with this gun. It looks cool, it handles great, and it's an absolute blast to use. I love the new Charge Rifle and it's a great addition to the game. There are two new weapon attachments coming to the game for Season 3 as well. The single shot anvil receiver and the double tap trigger. The anvil receiver is a gold attachment for the R301 and the flatline, and this increases semi-automatic damage but reduces the rate of fire and uses more ammunition. When you've got this on either your 301 or your flatline, your bullets turn red, similar to what they used to with the Skull Piercer. And it does indeed pack quite the punch. This attachment will be extremely valuable and weapons like the flatline will now be sought after. It just gives you a choice if you want something that's a bit more longer range but you want to hold on to that 301 or flatline as your main assault rifle. But remember, this only works in semi-auto mode and it does consume more ammunition. The double tap trigger attachment is available on the G7 Scout and the EVA 8 auto shotgun, and it is a purple rarity attachment. And what this will do is fire 2 quick shots per trigger pull instead of the usual one. Now I did use this a little bit, but I was struggling to see the appeal of it. Maybe I need to use this a bit more when Season 3 comes out, but I didn't fall in love with this attachment, to be honest with you. Perhaps it could be really useful if you can line up a headshot and guarantee 2 quick headshots. Aside from that, I'm not too excited about this, but I may be wrong here. I didn't get to use it on the EVA 8 though, and I think on that it could be devastating in close quarters. We will see. And while we're on the topic of attachments, the Skull Piercer and Disruptor rounds have been removed from this map. They are no longer in the game at the moment. Respawn said that one of the reasons they did this was because they wanted to change the overall balance of the weapons and they felt like the alternator and wingman were just being used far too much. So those attachments have gone. I did speak to a couple of developers about this and I think they've increased the headshot damage on weapons like the wingman now. So you will still be more effective if you aim for the head. You just won't have that Skull Piercer bonus anymore. There's been a couple of nerfs and balance changes with the legends too. Gibraltar, Bloodhound and Bangalore have been buffed slightly. One of the Gibraltar changes for Season 3 was that when you're in his bubble shield, you and your squad mates will get the fast recharge perk. Bloodhound has had a buff to their ultimate, but I'm not sure of the specifics. It felt like maybe it lasted a bit longer. Bangalore's ult has been buffed a bit too. In terms of nerfs, well, Pathfinder has taken a bit of a hit. His grapple range has been reduced from what I recall. It does feel a bit different, but he's still a valuable mobile character. There's a few changes to ranked play in Season 3 as well, so scoring is a bit different and you'll get points for kills, assists and multipliers. I won't go into the specifics of that, but it basically means that if you're assisting with kills, you'll be rewarded with some RP. There's an Apex Predator ladder too, so you can see who are absolutely the best of the best players in the game. There'll be a soft reset of the ranks and everyone will go down 1.5 tiers. But I think the coolest thing about ranked play is that there will be cosmetic rewards for hitting certain ranks, and these will be badges, gun charms and dive trails. So if you do reach Apex Predator, you will get a unique charm that cannot be bought and will only be available from actually getting into that skill bracket. That's super cool, and I'm glad that they're doing stuff like that. So if you see one of those around, you know that player has really put the time and effort in to get to that certain rank. And that's about all that I wanted to cover today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. I know this is a bit of a high level look at Season 3, but let me tell you, I think Respawn are coming out swinging here. The new map is brilliant. I love Crypto. The new weapon is fun. There's some interesting meta changes too. And there's some events coming up for Halloween. They did show us some stuff of that. Unfortunately, I can't show you guys, but they had some really cool skins in there. And it feels like Respawn are really getting a grasp on what live service means for Apex Legends now. And I've got really high hopes for the future of this game. There's obviously a ton of interest for Apex still. It's growing and growing, and I see this quickly becoming one of the most popular multiplayer games around. The only thing that I would love to see for the rest of Season 3 and maybe even going into Season 4 is more Legends and perhaps crossplay. That would definitely be a good addition to the game. With that said, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Leave a like if you did, a dislike if you didn't. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.